Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode here on The Remedy. I'm your host, Pastor D. I'm delighted to be with you here once more on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Today's topic, family, is love. And of course, we're going to talk about romantic love on this Valentine's Day. So, as we are moving forward, I think it's only fitting that I get you guys in the mood. Don't you agree? Yeah? Nobody's like, yeah. So how am I going to do that? Now, remember, we're talking about love. What is love? Someone say that love is blind. Love is an intense emotion. When you are in love, you become possessive of that person. You crave this person. Your world evolves around that person. When you are in love, you can't stop thinking about that person day and night. Love is like a fever. It comes and goes. It's like a thirst. Love will cause you to lose control. Love will make you do strange things. Love is a natural addiction. We were built to fall in love. Are you in love? With this, I want to welcome you to The Remedy. What's up? What's up, family?
Hey.
Happy Valentine's Day to you all.
What up?
To all of you who are in love, want to stay in love, thinking about being in love, we want to welcome you to The Remedy. Yes. Cynthia, why are you laughing?
Um, mellow face when you said that.
Right, yes.
Well, Luby, it's nice to have you on The Remedy today. You looking beautiful.
Thank you. It's good to
Now,
be back. Finally,
Now
my
we just
internet's working out.
want to let everyone know how much we appreciate you. She actually went and purchased a new modem that will actually work. so she can continue.
Dedicated. I'm committed to the cause.
Dedicated. I love it. Welcome back to The Remedy. To your right, my left. I'm not sure if it's right or left, but anyway, it's the beautiful Patty Bermudez. Pat, what's going on?
Afternoon. Nothing much.
Now-
Under the weather, but
Yes. And I understand yesterday you were not feeling well.
yeah.
But this is why we call the show The Remedy. If you're not feeling well, you come to The Remedy.
Well, let's hope I
That's
get
it.
some remedy.
And we have the beautiful Wendy and Melody on the other side of the world.
Hello. Other side of the world. We're in the same.
Now, you guys are the youngest among us this morning. As we discuss this topic, I can't wait to hear my girls talk about love. From a father perspective,
This is a safe space.
it's going to be
I want no
interesting.
questions afterwards.
We have the coach from Atlanta, Georgia. Coach Chaos, what's going on, bro?
What's up, everybody? Just wanted to take a moment and take it off me since we are talking about love and stuff. It wouldn't be right if I did not introduce the first lady of
Yay.
Norton. Onto the
Love
show.
it.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Hi,
What's
Tina.
up?
Tino. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Y'all saw how I did that there? It's a-
We're working on those brownie points.
Well, Tino, we welcome you. Welcome you to The Remedy. And to my right, Cynthia, another first lady from South Carolina. Welcome.
I'm not from South Carolina. I live in South Carolina.
That's
Let's
your
make that
issue.
clear.
Get it
That's
right.
your issue. That's your issue, not ours.
No. Hey guys.
Be that as it may, I want to welcome you all to the remedy today. The topic is love. Love, 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 love. Now, when we think about love, some people um, may say that they are in love. Some people say that they have experienced love. Some people will say, well, you don't need to be in love to love someone. So we're going to talk about a specific part of love today. Today's topic is on romantic love. And that's why I'm looking at my daughters right now. And, they're going to talk about romantic love. And maybe I'm going to learn things I didn't know today. But time will tell. So I figured the best way to do this today is to have a little game. And those of you who are watching, if you want to be part of the game, if you want to answer some of those questions, feel free to communicate that to us and we'll give you a crack at it. On my I was going to say television screen, on my computer screen, I have about 15 questions pertaining to love. And my hope is that by the end of today's show, we will be all equipped and know what romantic love is all about through the discussions that will take place today. So without any further ado, we're going to get started. And so all you have to do is pick a number. You choose a number, and then you get to decide whether or not you want to answer the question yourself or choose someone from the group to answer that question. All right, so we'll go left to right. And those of you who are watching the show as well, if you want someone specific to answer that particular question as well, you just let me know and we'll put that person on the spot. Is that understood?
All right.
So all of your names were put in a pot as who's to go first. So
Wait, was your name included too, Pastor D?
absolutely.
Okay.
So my name, all the names were included in a pot, but I get to select who goes first. Of course, I pull out my name, and that wasn't fair. So I decided I'm going to put my name right back and then choose a different name because I'm the host.
So does that include Tinu name?
Tinu and Markel will serve as one because they're together.
Does that include Tinu's name?
As it should be.
Unless,
Okay.
unless someone in the group chose not to have it so. So you guys can decide whether or not that question will go directly to Tinu or Markel or to both of them together. Okay?
So now you created
that's
these
fair.
questions, if I'm to understand that, because since you're part of the game, you already have a heads up on how to properly craft your answer.
The questions were created from the mind of Pastor D.
Right. Okay.
As I was putting the questions together, I blocked the other side of my brain.
There's some conscious bias there already.
So that I will not be prepared before time to answer the question. So drum roll, everyone. Let's get started. First question goes to Cynthia. You were the first person who were pulled from the list. So and it's 1 to 15.
Of course, I knew that. It's okay.
You choose which one you want to go first. Choose a number.
Who?
You.
Let's say 19.
1 to 15.
I'm sorry. Let's say 15.
Actually, no, we have 18 questions. I'm sorry. I added some more.
Okay, 15.
So we have 18 questions. All right, 15. Let me put it up.
Yes.
And here's the first question. Is sex different than women's? Can you have one without the other? So Cynthia, do you want to answer that
ask
question?
again. You kind of broke up a little bit.
Is sex different from women?
Can you ask it again?
Is
sex different from romance?
Yes. can you have one without the
It's
other?
sex.
So you get to choose whether or not you want to answer that question or pass it there to someone else.
Woo! Let's see. You know what? My mom raised me very well. Since we have a guest on the show,
By the
you
way,
know,
I spelled order wrong. Okay, just ignore that. It's
since we have a guest
OTHER.
on the show,
No,
I'm
Cynthia, we
gonna
ain't doing
address
that.
this.
Cynthia, we ain't doing that. Come at it.
Oh, we're
Come
not
at
doing
it.
that. Okay, I'm gonna
Come
answer it.
on.
Okay, is sex different than romance?
Truthfully,
Yes.
like not the first.
Can you
passion.
have one without the other? Yes, you can have. You can have absolutely yes. You can have sex without romance, but I feel like romance is the prelude. Like it's like the foreplay that
Did you
lead
say romance
to
is like the
sex.
lube?
I said romance prelude to sex.
Okay.
So it's like a foreplay. The romance is the foreplay.
So why do you think it's important, or is it important that you are in a romantic relationship before engaging in a sexual relationship?
Okay, now the question is, what is to everyone? Romance is different because you have to know. Okay, are we looking at romance based on what Hollywood described romance is, or are we looking at romance based on what we experience?
This is
Or
local experience. This is us. Anybody wants to join in
breaking
and
up?
help
Did I?
her, you can.
No. I mean, I'm answering it based on me because
Okay.
to me, you could have. I mean, if we're talking about it, as a from the time you were a teenager to your 20s to whenever age you got married. Let's say you were sexually active from let's say 18, 20, and then you got married at 30. All those sexual experiences are different because when you connect with the person you have that oneness with, it's a different experience compared to, hey, I'm gonna hit it with the boy that say I love you, I like you. It's different. So when you're in the same mindset, when you have the same goal, you one with that person. When I mean one with that person, they respect you, they understand you, and you have the same goal. Yes, it's different. So it's no longer, oh, I'm having sex. I'm enjoying my partner in that intimate way. It's become more intimacy than okay, and just laying there and then doing it.
Okay.
Well, some people can say you won with that person, when you're in bed. You literally won with that person.
I mean, listen, Pat, you are right. If you're 18, the minute
I'm messing with you,
there's
Cynthia.
intercourse, you won with that person, but the mindset is different. That's why when people have sex at an earlier age and then they broke up, there's so many detrimental things that happen cognitively to them compared when you're ready to enter into that relationship, because you give some part of you to that person if you think about it.
But that can happen at any age, though.
Anybody else want to jump in? No?
Go ahead, Pat. What were you saying?
I said that can happen. I mean, I see what you're saying, Cynthia. They're not one of the same, but we are seeing now that unfortunately, even at older age, you could, people choose to just sleep with people. People choose to have, romantic relationship with people. So the connection, whether it's physical or mental, can happen at any age. But we do know that at a younger age, you think you love someone. Sometimes it's not the love, or it's not the love that we find later on when you're married. But I guess people have friends benefits as
But
well.
I'm listening to the conversation, and what I'm hearing though is that there's this misunderstanding. A sexual relationship doesn't necessarily mean it's a romantic relationship.
I agree. Correct.
You know what I mean? You could
Yeah.
have a sexual relationship with someone and it's just pure sex. Whereas
Exactly.
a romantic relationship, there's love involved.
There are
between the two
feelings.
persons.
There's heart
There's feelings
into
involved.
it.
There's heart.
Yeah, emotion.
There's
Your emotions and such.
correct.
Just
Correct.
like one night stands, or when you have just, friends with benefits,
Friends with
or
benefits. Yeah.
when you're trying to get over
Yeah.
another person. I haven't done any of these things. These are not my experiences. So, but when you're trying to get
He's
over,
putting a disclaimer
Lifetime
out
movies,
there.
right?
She's an attorney, all right.
when you're getting over someone, it's just like, listen, you just need your mind.
Rebound.
That has nothing to do with romance. But when
Okay.
you are
Yes.
romantically involved with someone, that sexual encounter is completely different. It's on a whole other level. Your emotion, your mind, and spirit, everything is together
Mhm.
in oneness with that person. But if it's the other category, when you're just, sowing your royal oats out there, or you're having your one night stands, or you're trying to get over someone by getting over on someone, that's different. So definitely you can have sex without the romance ties to it.
One
You
night
can
stands
really
can
have
be
one without the other.
Mhm.
What'd you say?
one night stands can be romantic. And
If you're drunk.
I feel like it's just a sense of, like you were saying, an investment. There's an emotional investment there. There are people that could have had a one night stand that it was emotional, there was some kind of emotional connection for them. And then, it just never worked.
Yeah, and I guess
So that
that's
could
what
be
I'm
like
saying.
the first time, the love at first sight kind of thing.
Huh?
When when you see that they're always saying, oh, love at first sight, and they just
Right.
have sex that one night, and then they're still together or not.
And also, it depends on who it is. There might not be a true connection from both partners, but there are some people that I know that whenever they sleep with someone, there's that romantic connection. At least to them, there's a romantic connection. Whether or not it's cohesive, whether or not it's something that's mutual, that's a different story. But for you, it could be that you can't sleep with anybody, whether or not, unless there's that connection.
Right.
So I agree with Tino as well that one night stand can be somewhat emotional.
Individual.
Is it
Okay.
is it love at first sight or lust at first sight?
That's another question. That's on the list. That's on
All
the
right.
list.
Yeah.
All right, well done, guys. Well done with question number 15. Cynthia, you get to decide now who goes next. It's not that hard.
You know what, Mandy? How about you go next?
I go next.
Yes, since it's not that hard.
All right, so I get to choose.
And Mandy, hold on, no. We get to choose a number for you because you picked the question.
All
Very
right.
good.
15
Pat, you
is
can
gone.
choose the number.
I'm gonna go ahead, Cynthia.
What number?
Cynthia, you pick a number for Monday.
18.
18.
18.
All right.
And read number 18. Don't try to switch.
No. I'm just copying and paste. I'm just copying and paste. Here, see, with number 18 written there. All right, so here's the question. Do you think cheating is largely accidental? Oh, and I had the rest of my notes there. So forget the rest of the notes. Let me pull it out. So do you think that was for me? Okay.
Oh gosh.
This is what happens when you're hosting the show and you're also taking notes. Okay. So, all right. So the question
I
is,
needed
do you think
that laugh, Mandy? Thank you.
do you think cheating is accidental? Not always. There might be a time where it is accidental. But usually it's something that is planned. Right?
What type of cheating?
What do you mean? What
That
type?
is accidental.
There's emotional cheating. There's physical cheating. Because listen, when you have that, we're all at that age. The girls are not. When we've seen a different world where Dwayne emotionally cheated on Whitley, they had an intimate moment. They didn't have intercourse, but that connection you had, sir, you only supposed to be having that kind of connection with me.
Yes.
So
the Bible says
there. So what type of cheating are you talking about? Because that ain't accidental. You knew when you were about to get when y'all just talk too much and y'all emotionally connected. Stop where you at. That's a problem.
Okay. I agree with you. I was gonna get there, but thank you for.
Sorry, I got real hot.
That's all right. So there is emotional cheaters. There's
Mhm.
also cheating that can be done physically. Um, the emotional cheating is obviously when you're thinking about that person in a very intimate way, in a very intimate fashion. Um, is you allow yourself to fall in love with that person, and you can't help it but to think about that person day in and night. So it's like you have this infatuation about that person. Now it starts emotionally, but it can become something that goes physical as well. And when it goes physical, it's when you become a risk taker, especially if you're in a marital relationship. I call it a risk taker because it is a risk, and there's something about taking that risk. When you sit there with couples and counseling, they talk about that all the time. The risk is actually very fun. The risk is it's different. You get emotionally charged, like you want to do this, even though there's a voice inside of you that says, this is wrong, right? But you're still in charge of that. So you feel like you want this. So then you move from the emotional aspect to the physical aspect. So the question usually we ask ourselves is this: what caused that to take place? Um, there are times couples say, well, it's because they blame it on each other, or the husband was not spending enough time at home, or was not doing it for me, or whatever the reasons may be, right? But when you go to the root of their issues, you realize one thing is always in common when we talk about um, um, physical the physical aspect of it. The truth of the matter is, whenever couples become what's the word whenever couples take each other for granted, they are exposing their marriage. Whenever couples take each other for granted to the point where they just assume, if I tell you I love you, you know I love you, therefore X, Y, and Z. There's no such thing. Marriage takes work. Commitment is called, the word commitment itself is saying that you actually have to be doing something to make it better, to make it work. So you have to be committed, and it has to be a two-way street. Or commitment, a one-way commitment doesn't always work. Sometimes you may have in a relationship where one person is actually very committed to the relationship and the other person is not. It takes both people who are involved in that relationship to be committed together. And what once they are committed now, what keeps that marriage going is, remember earlier I talked about the risk taking and the fun. A couple has to create, and I'm going to say this, guys, this is so important. As a couple, you have to create your fun. You have to create your risk taking. I'm going to say this again: your risk taking. If you start doing the same thing over and over and over and over, your relationship will become bored. So you have to create things, you have to experience things together that you never experienced before. For one couple, it could be going out to eat to an exotic restaurant. Like, let's go out and have Greek food for the very first time. That alone is something that is new, that they haven't experienced before. For another couple, it could be, you know what, we got to go to an exotic vacation somewhere that we haven't done before. So it varies from couples to couples. The two of you, or those of you who are involved in that relationship, has to communicate that to one another to determine what that is. But that is as important as anything else in a marriage relationship. You need to have that fun. You need to take that risk with each other. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, because we have other questions that are kind of related to this. So emotional and physical. Yes.
My one question is, with this question, is what's accidental? I personally don't feel like there's such of a thing as I accidentally cheated. There was a choice that was made on your part and the other person, whether it is physical or emotional. Even if you talk about emotional, you intentionally were texting, talking, going to see each other, such and such. Physically, girls, cover your ears. You intentionally went to sleep with that person or him or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't think there's a such thing as accidental cheating. Now, if you're just gonna say they're cheating, then cheating is whatever you want to classify it as. But to me, there's no such thing as accidental cheating.
Well, the question said, do you think cheating is largely accidental? So I guess your answer is no, it's never accidental.
Right.
Correct. Correct. Anyone else on this question?
Well, I was gonna ask the same thing, so no.
Okay.
I just feel like you have to have the intent to be able to keep going, because at some point, even when you don't intend for it to go far, it's one of those things that they say sin will take you farther than you're willing to go. So if you are having it starts off emotional, and I don't think the emotional even needs to be something where you're in love with the other person. It's just where the other person is making you feel something that your significant other or your spouse is not making you feel, so you crave that attention from the person, and you continue to go after it, and at some point that then tends to take a life of its own, where you're now in this situation where you never intended to be, but you should have started that in the first place. So that's why I agree with Kels, where I don't think cheating is accidental. At some point you have to,
there was a choice,
stop yourself. Yeah, you're willing, like you said, to risk. You're willing to risk your marriage, your significant other, your family, whatever life you have, you're willing to risk losing it for this moment in time.
Correct. All right, so I get to choose who goes next. So we'll go to Patty Bermudas. Pat, you get to choose a question between 15 and 18. Well, we've done 15 and 18.
How about 4?
Number 4. All right. Number 4 is, what's the first thing you notice about someone when you fall in love, when you fall for them? Let me copy it real quick.
That's a tricky one. You're taking me back to 1992 with Lewis. Okay. Oh my God. Well, appearance, definitely. I would say appearance. And so if I had to physically say something from the first time, that it was appearance. And then another thing with me is intellect. You have to be able to challenge me, and I have to be able to have great conversation with you. That like, when you open your mouth, I have to be amazed by what comes out of your mouth. So that's, intellect is a big thing. And intellect does not mean that you have to have 20,000 degrees. People can be an intellect without having a degree, or, just 1 degree or whatever. It just, to be able to carry out intellectual conversation means the world to me.
Okay. So stimulation, intellectual stimulation.
Correct.
All right. Now I'm going to put you on the spot. You can have an intellectual stimulation with a robot. So,
well, I did say physical. The physical appearance first. That physical appearance. But outside of that physical appearance, once we start talking, that intellect has to be there as well.
Okay. So, okay. All right. Anyone else? First thing you notice about someone when you fall for them. First thing. The very first thing. Markel, you know you want to answer that.
I want to,
first thing.
But my niece is on the show.
Well, for me,
there's nothing cute you can say. Nothing like, oh yeah, her eyes, the way she cooked, anything. I can't believe
It would
this.
be lies. He's trying to tell the truth. Go ahead, Kels.
No, absolutely not. I cannot do this no more. I'm sick and tired.
Hey, do me a favor, girl. Just turn your camera off. Say no. All right, cool. Like Patty said, and I think for men, physical appearance is probably the first thing for a lot of men. I'm not gonna say everybody, but for a lot of men, it definitely is. You have to catch my eye and be different from everything else that I'm looking at or seeing or that's out there. So
Go Tina.
For this young lady, back in college, and it was in the cafeteria, downstairs in the cafeteria, and she had on pink tights.
It was a dress.
It was a dress. It was a pink dress. And here's what caught me. We were talking, and I said something pretty funny, but kind of came at her a little bit. And she said something with a little bit of attitude, and she turned around and just walked off. And I was like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta get that girl. I gotta talk to her some more. So definitely physical appearance is a major factor for a lot of guys.
Okay. All right. No, Cynthia or Luby or Wendy and Melody?
So physical, for me, you have to catch my eye. But that's not my and Vincent's story. I was like 15 when I met Vincent, and he was not my type. And I was a good girl, good church girl. So I liked the bad guys. He was nerdy. He was going to school. He was light skinned. I wanted them dark. I like Morris Chestnut. I like football. He's skinny. He was just not it for me. I was like, we were volunteering at the hospital, North Shore. And he was, I came out or whatever, and he was staring at me. I was like, what's wrong with him? But that was not, but typically, you have to catch my eye. The thing with Vincent is his intellect. I mean, he's a handsome guy. He's just wasn't what I wanted back then, young and dumb. So, you have to find some way to catch the person. And to me, it's whatever it is that speaks to you. I have one of my siblings who physical is, that's a plus, but if you can make her laugh, it's it. Like you start saying jokes, I mean, it's a wrap, and then everything else just falls in place. So it depends on the person. It's whatever catches you.
Yeah. For me, it was a combination of what you guys are saying. I love to laugh. So that's very important to me. But one thing that I realized, I think with Kate, is that I wanted someone completely opposite to the normal church girls. To go back to what Luby was saying, because I was in a relationship with a church girl before, and I know what that feels like and so forth. I just wanted the opposite. I wanted someone who is a little crazy, who is a little, you know what I mean? It's the girls are.
Hey, thanks, Craig.
That's my mom you're talking about.
That's mom you're talking about.
And so we're just like, oh, right.
Right. But I also remember the first day I and Pat, you can attest to that. The first day I went to pick up Kate, I remember I went to pick her up because she got lost coming to the Poconos, and I went to pick her up to bring her to the house. And I remember as she was going up the stairs, and I was carrying her briefcase, and I was saying to myself, "My God, what a beautiful woman!" Right? I'm
From
saying,
behind.
Well,
From behind, she was going up the stairs.
I saw her face first.
She was going up the stairs.
She was going up the stairs, and I was being a man. Yeah, I look at her from the back, and I said, "She is beautifully and wonderfully made." Okay. So,
well,
may the church say amen.
Come on.
Cynthia, you have something you want to say?
Oh me? Oh no.
So what was it
Well,
about
to be
you
honest,
and yours?
and mine,
Yes.
so I like tall guys, okay? And I like tall and bald-headed men. I don't know, something about tall, bald-headed, slender, okay? So for me, when I first met my husband, of course, he was a pastor prior to us getting married, even dating. And he came to our church and we were friends. And mind you, we were friends over the phone. We never had any physical, contact, like seeing face to face. So when he first came, I picked him up, whatever, went to the church. And then Sabbath morning, he was preaching for Pathfinder Day. So I was in uniform looking like a geek, and nothing cute about the Pathfinder uniform. I don't care how you dress it. There's nothing cute about it, right? So I had the Pathfinder uniform on. And then he had his suit, he's tall. At the time, he wasn't, he was slim, bald headed. And so I'm standing on the pulpit, he's translating, and I'm just standing there. I'm like, oh, he's fine. So the congregation is helping me translating. And I'm like, okay, I think I could do this. So I didn't say anything to him. So I think the attraction, the way he preached, I still remember he preached about Simpson between two pillars. That was the sermon. The way he broke down the Simpson, and I'm like, oh, I never see it that way. I'm like, oh, I could dig this, But yeah, that was the attraction. The boy-headed, he was tall and slim. I'm like, okay.
All right. Okay, so Patty, very good, very good. So you get to choose now. We've done with
So we just gonna bypass the girls. So we
Yes.
just gonna bypass the girls. So we just now.
So,
having
okay, hear me out. We can bypass that. We don't even gotta do that.
So the girls, do you have something you want to add?
Okay. So obviously looks are something. Like I don't want to say like everyone's beautiful in their own way,
But not everybody beautiful to me.
exactly. But I think if I'm gonna fall in love with somebody, it's definitely I think patience is a big one. I don't like being rushed at all in any way. You're gonna have to like do this on my time, on my terms, and like how you treat other people. Because I don't like there are girls who are like, oh, I like he's nice to me, like that's what I like. I don't like that. I think you have to be like a friendly person, or else I'm just gonna be like, ugh.
Like that's how you act around other people. That's embarrassing.
I think you have to be like a genuine, like a friendly and kind person for me to like view in that way.
Okay. All right. That's a very safe answer. Very good. Very good.
answer.
Huh?
All right, Wendy.
All right. As someone, I would just say at the end, I've never been in love, so I would just talk out of what I think. Okay. I mean, I don't know, because attraction, I guess that is a big thing because it's just the first thing you notice. But I mean, I tend to like people I'm already close to, so it's just like whether we just have
that vibe, like that.
Yeah, I hate saying vibe, but like if we get along well enough, if that makes sense, like I can actually hold a conversation with you and not feel like, dang, I'm so bored. I like if you can make me laugh, if we can talk about things that they don't even necessarily have to matter. Like I don't know, I talk in circles. So
yeah.
Someone that can listen, but also I can just talk to,
like
and then I'll be able to listen, if that makes sense. Just good conversation. That's the first thing.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, Pat, you get to choose who goes next.
Tinu.
Tinu, you are next. And what number, Tinu, would you like to use now?
Pick a number.
7.
Number 7 coming up.
Pick them up.
Oh, that's a beautiful one. All right. So here's the question.
Hold on. Go ahead. You can ask it. Go ahead.
What's one thing about love that scares you? one thing about love that scares you.
It's crazy. We were actually just talking about this. To me, it's losing that person, losing the love of my life. I'm still trying to get to that point where I'm not afraid of death. But it would be, yeah, I think it would just be losing the love of my life.
Losing the love of your life?
Yeah, because when you love someone like that, like it's just a whole part of you that's missing. That would go missing. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Even though you'll move on, and it's just having to even think about that, or having to deal with the love of your life being gone or no longer present.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You all agree with the same thing, or you have something else that you can add to that, or something that is different?
I
One
think
thing
I
that
agree
scares
with
you.
Tinu, but I also think changing, but I mean, change is a constant thing. Louis and I have done couples therapy, and of course, we've been married 20 something years. I don't know, what, 1996, whatever it equates to, I guess almost 25 years. And it is okay to change. But what scares me is when you change to the extreme. So that's definitely something that scares me. I mean, we all gonna evolve, we all gonna change. Specifically, we got married very young, but then when everybody's polar opposite is something that's worrisome.
Yeah. Anyone else? What scares you about?
Well, what scared me?
Love.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Sorry.
What scared me was being vulnerable. So when you're in love with someone, you're now saying you're opening yourself up to this person so that they are now coming into your fold. And I am the oldest of four, and my parents were elderly. My mom is the one that's still here. So I've seen a lot, right? So there's a lot of things in protecting the family close off. So I'm a person, I observe first, and what I show you is what you will see. You won't see anything more than that. I'm very, very careful about protecting my fold. So when I allow you to enter into the fold, it's like, okay, now, so I'm not as tough as I pretend to be and such. There's a really soft gooey in there, and mess with that, your life will be over. So just being vulnerable to this person to say, hey, this hurts, or hey, this doesn't feel good, or just expressing the fear of losing, those types of things. That's what scared me about love. And even I've been married to Vincent for a while. I can't tell the number, 2006 or 9. That's Vincent. He leaves the number. Oh, I'm really bad with that. But it's just now that we're actually to a point where I can, remove the tough exterior and just be self, because I've always been Superwoman. I've always been Wonder Woman. So I'm just always doing. So just allowing myself to be vulnerable is just now something where we're learning, and he the same. So it scared me.
Yeah, Ruby, I'm exactly like that. To me, vulnerability is one, because I feel in a marriage, it's the first place or the only place that you truly can be yourself, and to be able to be that person, and not worrying about if I'm going to be judged by my partner for thinking this way, or doing this, or being like this, or whatever. You want that person to kind of accept you as you are, with all your flaws, with the good, the bad, and the ugly. But to me, yeah, it's how vulnerable can I allow myself to be? And as you mentioned it as well, it took me years after years after years to finally open up completely to my wife, so that she knows the full me, because I didn't want her to know those other part of me, because I didn't think if she do this part of me, or didn't know, or realize that part of me, the love that she has for me now will diminish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else on that topic?
Like for me as well as vulnerability and losing the one that I love.
Yeah.
Like it's hard, like Luby and you said, Pastor Monday, it's hard to open up, but in a marriage, you want that. But at the same
Mhm.
time, you don't want that person to use your vulnerability against you in a heated argument or, disagreement. But, and, to wake up one day and then to not have them. So all those
Yeah.
at once,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
scares me as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I think Patty said it, change. I guess that also ties in with losing someone, and Cynthia kind of touched on it. Waking up and not recognizing that person anymore.
Yes, that's it.
Like where you guys have completely grown apart. I guess that kind of ties into losing that person as well. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
true. So
It
true.
doesn't have to be a physical loss. I mean,
right.
yeah,
Not
it can
necessarily
be,
always physical.
emotional. Yeah.
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 I'm
How
pretty
how
scared
about
of the
you,
whole thing.
ladies? What
I
scares you the most?
Everything.
I think losing who I am in that person, as well as like the vulnerability portion, because I I think like personally, I've had to do like a lot of growing, like especially like these last couple of years of like high school and then college. Um, and I'm like confident in who I am now, and that took a lot of, and it feels like sometimes when you fall in love, like you change, like to
Mhm.
fit that person better.
Mhm.
And I don't want that to be the case. Like I want to be able to be myself completely with that person and like not feel like I have to make amends to myself in order to be a better partner, not even a better partner, but to please them, to feel like I'm good enough for them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like I want to be able to be fully myself and then have that relationship amplify it.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Greg
I
was saying something.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm pretty terrified of love, period. Like completely. Based off of everything that you guys are saying. When you fall in love with someone, the feeling is supposed to be great. It is great, right? So I don't want to take that away. But love is a two-way street, right? So like if my love is the only thing that's making this relationship work and I'm the only one that's happy, the relationship is probably bad, right? Because I'm pretty sure the other person has their ways of wants and things like that, so that way you guys go together. But if I'm in love with you, I have to be vulnerable. Yes, sorry. See, kids, they if I'm in love with you, like I have to be vulnerable, right? To get to that deep part of love. Because there's to me there's different levels of love, the superficial part and things like that. So to get really deep in love, you gotta be 100% open with your partner about everything. That part is scary. Um, Building a life with this person, and God forbid something happens and this person no longer is there. That part is scary.
Mhm.
Um,
It's a lot.
the kids that you're raising together, and then you're no longer raising together, whether it's divorce or you fall out of love, whatever the case may be, that part is scary. There's just like a lot of different aspects of it that is great. It is a great thing, but if not taken care of and handled correctly and it's lost in a relationship, even that is scary because now you're walking around like, and I hate to bring my culture in, a lot of parents are like this too. You see parents who are no longer in love, but they're just in it for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Living like that is scary. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of different things that is scary about love.
And I think it happens at different stages. Like we've all touched on different parts of it that I think could happen. Some maybe earlier on in the beginning of love or some later on. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's true, but you know what? With all the things that you guys say, that's the thing about love. You don't stop yourself from falling in love because you're afraid of all of those things. You still want to experience it. You still want to have it because the other side of it is it's still very 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 beautiful. But well said, well said. Who went next? So that was who just went?
Tinu.
Tinu. All right, so the girls are next.
Oh, I thought I get to pick.
Yeah, you get to pick.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna pick the girl.
Okay. So what number you guys want?
I can't make small decisions. Somebody got to do it. 12.
Number 12. All right, number 12 is a good one. Here we go. So the question is,
Don't be
if you love someone, is unfaithfulness / cheating something that can be forgiven?
If someone cheats on me, I am sorry. I don't care if we kids, God forbid, I don't want children. I don't care if we got a dog together. Bro, I gotta go, because I just see that as a sign of you just don't respect me enough to either break it off with me first, or it's just like a respect thing. Like, I don't care if you're emotionally cheating, physically, the whole 9 yards. I don't care if he was even a little drunk. Well, maybe not, because that's a consent thing and I would be worried about you. But like I just find it one of the worst things, because I just feel like that I'm just like, well, I just don't want to love you anymore if you can hurt me in that way. That's like putting me with some rocks and then throwing me in the ocean. I can't swim. Like you obviously want to hurt me.
Yeah. I feel like personally, I don't think that cheating is accidental. Like, I feel like it's a conscious decision. Like, other than like, well, drunk is whatever. Okay, yeah, I don't want you drinking, but it's just like when you're in a relationship with somebody, a relationship is built on trust and respect. So if I feel like I can't trust you anymore, and you were able to do something like that to me, knowing how deeply it would hurt me, and then still go through with it, like, why should I like open myself to you? Like, it's opening myself up to hurt. For what?
And maybe I could forgive, but I don't want to stay with you, because shoot, I'll just try to get someone else, or I'll be by myself. At least
I would rather be by myself than be with somebody that doesn't fully respect the commitment that we have to each other. I'm good. Okay, it's not the tears.
Anyone else want to get a crack at this?
I think it has a lot to do with experience. The girls are younger, and when I was their age, it's a wrap. Listen, you look at somebody, it's over. Okay. But as you go through experience with people, so you start to realize you yourself are not perfect. And if you were to make a decision that was detrimental, you would want to be forgiven and to be given the opportunity to make up. I think it has a lot to do with the person who has done the cheating and what are they going to do to gain your trust back. I agree that once you've broken the trust, it's hard to regain it, but it's not unimaginable. It's not something that you can't regain. It has a lot to do with the person. Are they going to cheat again? Now, if this is a repeat offender, now y'all got problems. Listen, now you just now if you treat me like a revolving door, it's a wrap kind of thing. But if it's it's legal terms. You got to look at the totality of the circumstance. You got to look at everything together. It's just how did this happen? Why did this happen? When did this happen? How often did this happen? You get the grill. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty, I'm not saying blame yourself, but at some point, where in the relationship did you feel that you needed this other thing? Where was it that we went wrong? Not I, because you did it, because I could have, but I didn't, but you did. But where did we miscommunicate? Where were you trying to tell me you were not happy and I told you get over yourself? Because I tend to do that. So like, so I think it comes with it comes with your partner. If your partner is a loving person, if your partner truly respects the vow that you've made, and this is an honest mistake, then they deserve the opportunity to regain what they've lost. But if this is an affair, y'all got problems.
Well said.
Maybe it's because I'm too harsh on myself, but like I feel like even maybe in that circumstances, if I'm the cheater, I feel like either I would just break it off because I'm like obviously not something I want, or I wouldn't even want them. Well, I don't want to say want them to forgive me because everybody I guess kind of wants forgiveness, but I wouldn't even expect that. I wouldn't try to make it work after that because I'm just like, well, if I'm willing to go this far because something's missing in the relationship, something was missing and we could have gotten that, but I already made the conscious decision to find it with someone else, if that makes sense. You know?
What if you were afraid that if you told the person that this is what's missing, that they were going to leave, so therefore you didn't say anything and then you found it somewhere else, and then once you did the cheating, the person says to you, well, how'd you just talk to me? We would have just, and I'm like, oh man, dang, I didn't know. So now you know.
But the thing is, if I'm afraid of how that person is going to react to my feelings and my needs,
Then I shouldn't be.
then I shouldn't be with somebody. Period. Like that's obviously something, or well, not period, but it's obviously not working.
Because you should be able to vocalize if there's what's going. I don't want to say wrong, but like vocalize your own needs, and maybe you guys can try to work on it together.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If your first instinct is to protect yourself and hurt them in the process, then I don't think I should be in a relationship. I don't think you should be in a relationship because there's clearly something happening.
You can hear the psychology.
It's definitely a selfish act, but I have to say, the girls sound definitely, it's the textbook case. And then Luby gave the clinical example. So, you have your theory and then you have the actual practice. And not to say that, ladies, it does come with experience. I do agree with a lot of what you're saying. A lot of it can, a lot of time be exempted. You can like if something is wrong, why does it have to even get to that? Why don't we talk about it? So yes, I agree, but unfortunately human beings are not perfect. Things happen, and sometimes it does take something to that magnitude to happen to open somebody's eyes, whether it's the male or the female. And then it depends. Some people stay together because of the financial reason. If you go, I'm going to have alimony. Some people stay together because of the kids. And some people generally realize, you know what, I made a mistake and I want you in my life. And sometimes it becomes an eye opener for some people. And then, like Ruby has said, some people are habitual and you need to go.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of it too has to do with experience, a different type of experience than what Luby mentioned. If you grew up in a household where that was something that you went through or your family went through, your mom and dad went through, you're going to come out of that place with a different mindset. And I can understand why the girls feel the way they do. For me personally, I always believe that people are not allowed. People can make mistakes. And just same way that I would want to be forgiven, that I too deserve the right to forgive them. But forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean that you have a carte blanche to either do it again or what you have done is forgotten. What's bad is when someone has done wrong and never acknowledge that what they have done is wrong. They look for all kind of excuses to okay their behavior, but never acknowledge and say, you know what I did was wrong. And I hear this often where, where did we go wrong? And it's funny how all of a sudden there's we, and you definitely made your own personal decision. But now it's where did we go wrong? No, it's where did you go wrong? What happened that caused you to really wanted to go that route? So yeah, it's definitely one of the toughest thing for couples to go through, but doesn't mean that they can't move forward from it. Cynthia?
But Mandy, the person cheated. It's wrong, but they didn't get there by themselves to cheat.
What do you mean? They didn't
So
get there by themselves. They
when
drove there.
we went wrong is a correct answer, because if I saw something, if you know your partner before something happened. Okay, I don't know about you guys. You met, all of us are married except the girls. If you wake up, you see your partner, you know something is wrong. Before you even ask, something is wrong. So prior to the
We
cheating
are assuming,
happen,
Cynthia.
you know something is wrong. No, hold on. No. I'm not justifying the cheating. I'm justifying the language. It takes two to tango. It takes two to have an argument. It takes two to do anything. But at what time does in the relationship, a dying relationship, is it one person fault just because the person decide to go, okay, I can't take it anymore? Yes, it's their choice, but at the same time, we collectively got to this point. It wasn't only the person who cheated choice, it's a collective effort, because we could have went to counseling. The red flags were there along the way, but why is it the person for the one that, okay, succumbs to the cheating, all of a sudden is their fault? That's their fault. It's not only their fault, it's collectively we did
I
this,
would say,
we came to this point.
I would say I agree with you, but also disagree with you. And this is why
Right.
when I speak with young people, I let them know there are certain behavior that you begin to practice as a young person that's going to carry with you when you become a married man or a married woman. If when you are dating as a young person, you don't take the relationship seriously and you're constantly moving from one bed to another, one bed to another, don't just expect just because now you say I do to someone, that kind of behavior automatically will stop.
I
This is
agree.
why it's important that you challenge yourself not to continue to practice certain behavior as a young man, so that way you have the calluses. Just like when
Mhm.
we go to the gym, you start lifting weight, you develop the calluses so that when you pick up that weight, it doesn't hurt anymore. You need to practice that kind of mindset when you are younger, so that it's so much easier for you when you are married not to cheat. Because sometimes, I'm going to say this, it's not always, but sometimes the person cheats in their relationship not because something was wrong in their relationship. They cheated because the opportunity to cheat arises. You understand?
But
But something is wrong with
sometimes
them.
something is wrong with the
Think,
relationship,
yeah,
and
it's not because the
So
opportunity.
sometimes the
let
person
me
that actually did the cheating could have been pushed against the wall. And again, at the end of the day, you still the one who did it. So you
Yeah,
still your fault. However, I think collectively you need to look, okay, what's going on with the relationship?
yeah.
What did we go on? What can we do? And sometimes after you talk it out, you realize, you know what? It is what it is. We're going our separate ways. But just because one person have done the deed doesn't necessarily mean that it fell under that one person's shoulder.
Are we
so I
making
kind of
sure we're not holding everybody accountable? Because I'm confused by what's going on here.
No,
So
no, no, no,
I
no,
kind
no.
of
This is
understand
what
what
I was
Cynthia was
saying.
trying to say.
No, no.
I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
I
speaking.
think Cynthia is saying that when cheating happens, as far as like a marriage or something like that, right? One person, the person who did the act of cheating, probably is in the wrong more. But the phrase that Luke has said, "Where did we go wrong?" is what Cynthia is kind of standing on,
Yeah.
because there must have been something that went wrong in the relationship for that person to look outward for something else. Even like Mondi is saying, something presented itself. Even if something does present itself, that person who went towards that presentation was looking for something and did not express that look toward their spouse. You know what I'm saying? So they're still wrong because they're the one who went out and did the action, committed the adultery. But the term we, because when you do get married, you stop saying the I's and it does become we.
I.
So even if someone does something, one person does something wrong, there was a we somewhere in there. So you do got to figure out what
Mhm.
was the we that made the I step out. You see what I'm saying? I think that's what, if correct me if I'm wrong, that's what you're trying to get at.
No, you're correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next question. Um, we're gonna go right back to Cynthia. Cynthia, you get to choose.
Number one.
Number one,
I
how would
thought
you be?
we
Oh,
got
wait,
to
wait, wait.
choose.
I'm
No.
sorry.
I thought we got to choose the next person.
Oh
I
yes.
feel stuck.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
I
You're
didn't
right.
pick it
All
before.
right,
You
what's
get
Who
to
going
choose.
on?
do
You get
who
to
do we want to choose, Wendy? I just wanted to make sure I had the choice. All right, well, y'all been grilling us, so how about Uncle Markel?
Uncle
Let's have Uncle
Marcia.
Markel.
All right.
Put
What
us on the
number?
spot. Yep.
What number?
10.
Number 10.
Please don't be about sex. Please don't be about sex.
I love number 10. It's a beautiful question. All right, number 10. How do you stay in love? The work of love. What do you think is the most important factor of keeping love alive in a relationship?
Mhm.
Ooh. How do you stay in love?
Sino, you can help him.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I think Patty talked about this a little bit about growth when you guys are changing and growing and things of that sort. I think your love has to also adapt to the new things that's happening. Especially for a lot of us, we got married um, at a young age. You know what I'm saying? And the person that she was is not the same person that she is today.
Mhm.
So you have to be able to adapt to the new person that's being um, coming
Coming
to. There you go, coming to. The important factors of keeping the love alive and the relationship is always going back to, my opinion, the beginning. Always going back to the friendship part. What made you guys friends? Like we talked about, what made you fall in love, and for some people, it's the appearance. It's making you laugh. It's communication and talking about different topics. So you gotta continue to reinvent the wheel, if that makes sense, as you guys continue to grow year after year, anniversary after anniversary. You can't do the same or expect the same steps all of the time. You got to be able to change.
Mhm.
I think being vulnerable.
I didn't take you in there. I thought I
It's
did
fine.
good answer, but
You kind of nudged me. That
All right.
wasn't. That
no,
wasn't.
you good. Go
technical.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Being spontaneous and being open, like Markel was saying, to the change, I believe will assist in, keeping that fire lit. Because if you're just trying to if you're trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, it's kind of like, okay, we've been doing this. Yeah, it's redundant. Yeah. We've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So just being open to trying new things, whatever that may be for that couple, and it's work. You keep working, and not only within each other, on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll take a crack at it. For me, learn to minimize stress. And by that I mean you have to remember stress is something. It's not is something that you can avoid, but learn not to blame the stress on each other. Okay. Have fun with your friends, have fun with your family. It's important to be balanced. There's a lot of couples who tend to just want to stay to themselves and they don't have any other outlets. You need other outlets. You need to have friends. You need to have family members around you that you can have fun with, do things together with. Okay. Control your anxiety. That's another important one. If you tend to be an anxious or a very depressed person, I would say seek therapy. Find ways to really reduce your anxiety, whether it's prayer or meditation or going to the gym, whatever you need to do, to control and reduce your anxiety. And again, too often people blame a partner for their problems, right? it is better for you to address it yourself, to address the problem, and again, seek counseling. It's important that sometimes, and I love it when Pat last week say, I have no problem going to a counselor, going to a therapist and talk. It's good to do that, okay? Um, one of you mentioned, I think it was Luby, communication. Oh no, it was um,
The
um,
skills.
the girls. Yeah, communication is very important. Some people don't know how to communicate. Communication is a skill that you have to learn to develop. Okay, there are books about it. There are YouTube videos about it. You can sit with a therapist again to learn how to do that, but learn how to communicate. Okay, and when you learn to communicate, the next thing I will say on that list that's very important is learn to celebrate small successes, your partner's success. You know, she goes to work today and she got a promotion, or she did that presentation and everybody loves it, and she comes home and excited and telling you about it. You know, don't just say, well, I'm happy for you, but where's the dinner? You know, you don't do that. You know, that's good. Whatever you did at work, whatever. I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in what do you have for us today. You know, no, celebrate each other's success. It's important. And what I said that earlier before, but I'm going to say it again. And Tinu mentioned it again. Enjoy something new. Okay, as a couple, I'm telling you, it's very important for you to figure it out. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over. Even if that thing you're doing is something that you both love, the feeling is not going to be the same when you're doing it for 100 times. You got to figure out ways to keep things fresh, to keep things alive. Whether it's sexual, whether it's going out, whether it's playing a game together, whether it's let's just play video games together for the very first time, whatever it is, create little things that are new and exciting. And then we talked about vulnerability earlier. Sometimes you may have to be vulnerable. You may have to ask your wife or your spouse to be vulnerable. Tell me something that you really, really want to do, but you never really share with me. You'll be surprised. So that was my
Can I,
list.
can
Yes,
I add to my list real quick?
absolutely.
Another thing would be time apart.
Ah,
Apart from each other and then coming back. I won't lie, before I used to be like, no, you gotta be with me all the time. But now it's very much, we can give each other space,
yeah,
come back, like being okay missing that person for a little bit.
correct, correct.
Even, with COVID right
Absence.
now, he can be in his room and I'm in the other room and we give each other our space and then we'll come back together.
Yeah.
And another thing would be I think Mondi kind of mentioned it. Dang it. I can't remember what it was. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, definitely time apart. I might remember it when someone else
Friends with family,
Huh?
having fun with your friends and family. I
Yeah.
mentioned that. I mentioned minimize your stress. I mentioned control your anxiety. I mentioned communication skills.
Oh,
Um,
that's what it is. Communication skills. Checking in. And like you, I think that's what it is. You mentioned speaking to your partner and asking them questions like, hey, ask them, hey, am I meeting your needs? Am I
yeah,
doing what it is that you want me to do within this relationship? Like, I think I was talking to a friend and she said it that, we go to business meetings and we ask them, hey, you have your report. They're telling you what you're doing and what you're not doing. Sometimes in relationships, things get redundant or we kind
yeah,
of get lazy and
yeah.
we stop doing certain things. And it's like, hey, am I meeting your needs? Am
Hmm.
I doing what you'd like me to do in this relationship to kind of keep this spark going?
And I have to say, to that extent, it's important when you ask that question that you allow the person to say
Say
exactly what they want to say, because
it. Be
you
prepared.
ask that question and then now all of a sudden there's a fight
Right.
because I gave you an answer. It's not, you know what I mean. So make sure again that vulnerability is being used properly. That when
You're
someone
ready for the answer.
yeah, when someone is vulnerable enough with you that you don't take that lightly, that you really pay attention to it and did.
Huge.
Anything else,
Huge.
ladies?
I mean, you guys have said everything. Really, it's just wrapping it up. It's dating each other,
Mhm.
date. Go back to what made you guys fall in love. You know, Vincent and I started. Well, when we were in middle school and high school, but when we got serious, we're in college. He was at Tallahassee. I was in Tampa. Long distance, so we were always on the phone. So I would tell him, "You go into the guest room, and I'm going to stay here and call you." Just so we can have that, you know, like what we used to. He'd be like, "Ah, just do it," you know, and it's fun. So it's going back to what made you guys, you know, say, "Yeah, he the one. He the one."
Yeah. Make believe. Make believe. Go into your own fantasy world. What happened in your bedroom, it's nobody's business but yours. Create, create, create. All right. Sometimes you may be with a partner and they're not into this creation business. So you may have to create for the two of you. Okay. All right. You may have to. Sometimes it happens, but you have to create, 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 create. And when you're no longer creating, maybe your partner will pick up the slack and say, you know what? We used to be better. We used to do things. We used to do X, Y, and Z. And then again, communication. It goes back again to communication. What can we do to make the relationship better? Very good. All right. Well done, Pat. Well done. Well done. Well done. That was number 10. Nope, that was not Pat. That was Markel. All right, Markel, you get to choose.
Who hasn't gone yet? Has anybody gone?
Everybody has gone so far.
Oh, I haven't gone. I've just been talking.
No.
Oh,
okay. Luby, we'll go with Luby. Luby's turn.
I was cool though.
All right.
Luby, pick one.
Two.
Number 2. All right. So we're gonna choose. I'm gonna give you number 16 for number 2 instead.
Oh, sure. It's your world. Just live in it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Number.
The host just changes things whenever he feels like.
First, it was 15 questions. Then it's 18. Then it's the host knows the questions.
Here we go. Number 2 or 16. Okay. Is monogamy natural?
So that's like, I mean, I don't understand how to answer that question because.
All right. So by monogamy, I mean
no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Family spouse, one spouse.
No, I know what you mean, but that answer can come. It can be different based on who you're talking to, because I believe, because I'm a selfish person, that it's one spouse, one husband, one wife. You're a spouse. That's it. There is no other. But I mean, I have heard arguments, and they're pretty convincing, where the Bible allows men to have several wives. You have different culture to have several wives. I don't know why it's always wives, not a lot of husbands, but that's on another case. So right, so it's I don't know. The answer to that is, for Luby, in Luby's world, monogamy is natural. That's the only way it's gonna be.
Okay. All right. Well said. Anyone else want to quack at it?
Luby, I'm with you. Okay. I'm with you, sis. I'm with you on that one.
I think it's just sheer laziness. I just don't want to. That's so much. More than talking to one person.
She said I already have a big family. I don't need another.
Yeah, because you have to keep track too. Like it just sounds like more effort than I'm willing to put out. I think I can invest myself in one person, but more than one person, I'm sorry, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, I want you guys to know that, and there are other cultures. Luby, you mentioned it. I would say 86% of the world culture, 86%. allow one man to be in a relationship and have multiple wives. Now, having said that, usually the person who can do that they have to be able to provide financially to that second or third wives. You know, in other words, it's not that just bring everybody into that one bedroom. No, that wife or that second wife or that third wife have to have her own house just the same and have her children just the same. Okay, so it's mainly if you can afford it, and those 86% that I mentioned, then they'll allow it.
Let me rephrase my answer. Because wait. So wait. Let me see. I was really thinking about this. Let me be real. All right. The answer is still on the basis, yes.
Okay. Yes.
However, Luby's a multifaceted person. So I've seen sister wives. Now there's always a queen bee who allows the husband to choose and pick, right? So if I can live in a world that Luby can allow her husband to have a wife that cooks, a wife that cleans, a wife that tends to the children, I'm okay with that because Luby is still queen bee. Now, when Luby says, sis, you overstepping, it's a wrap. It's done for you. So, I mean, I don't know, I don't know where that puts me in a Christian spectrum.
That sounds like
my world. Listen, I'm a working Christian.
I'm not saying it sounds like you want maids in your house, but
no. See, that's the thing. They're not maids. They have the benefits of calling themselves wives. They just don't. They
live in their own house and they have their own family.
So, like I said, Luby's world, and in Luby's world, this is how the wives would function. This is the only way we would have a polygamy relationship. Okay. And it would be to the benefit of the queen. So, if it can't happen that way, then the monogamy is the way it's because let me tell you, my husband needs to be happy, and I'm okay with that. However, there are certain aspects where Luby just can't make it happen. I'm not coming to, I run a business, all right? I can't be cooking 5-course meals like your mom used to. Like my mom will come in and she'll just like, oh, Luby. You. We having spaghetti tonight. Pizza. Listen, cereal. You want cereal? We want cereal. We got 5 different cereal. If we can make the world go around in Luby's way, I'm okay with the polygamy relationship. Outside of that, monogamy is the way it's gonna have to work.
It definitely has to be a harmonious. We're gonna like everyone has to get along. Like there's
so many people in a house though. I'm sorry, when you mentioned sister wives, people to keep track of.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of accounts, joint accounts.
Yeah, no. You guys are missing the point. Listen, this has to happen. There has to be a logic to it. First of all, we need to be in a very big house where we can't talk like that. Listen, you only, and it's either my children. So yeah, maybe maids. Maybe maids is what I need.
Yeah.
I have a question.
So,
if my husband want to, my husbands, they can have their own club and stuff. Like they can, converse, figure out my needs. I'm sorry, I can't do it with a bunch of women in the house. Then listen, because I feel like I love hanging out.
Wendy
wants the bachelorette. That's what it is. Yeah. And then okay, depending on the weekday, they can converse and then just be like, okay, I'm gonna hang out with her today and we'll figure it out. And then once I'm done, with having dates, whatever, I just go back and then they can go to their quarters or something.
This is the bachelorette. This is a bachelorette.
I just don't. That's still too many people, though.
I think the answer is yes, monogamy is natural. There's no other way around it.
So, in all this, right? Now, let's say we do the polygamous relations. Now, who's getting tested? Like, is he using protection? All this thing is going through my mind. Like,
everybody gotta be tested all the time.
Like on a daily basis.
Well, that's why you gotta.
How does that work?
Trust people you bring it into your fold. They got to go through a they got to go through like a, like
rigorous
how
training and stuff.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So
I'm
I'm
just
listening
coming
to
here
your
messing
question.
things up for people. Like, what's wrong?
Can you cook? Can you clean?
What's wrong with you?
Can you fix electrical?
We got to all be clean. Like, listen.
Yeah.
So Luby, from
Yeah.
listening to you and Cynthia, I think you guys really push the envelope on fidelity. Um, um, here's the thing. And believe it or not, this is what you're really saying, Luby. When you're in a monogamy relationship, it brings safety. It also brings predictability. You know what's happening in the house. Safety wise, two is better than one, right? It's always right. Um, we work together, we do things together, we build together. Um, it's always better with two. And some people will say, well, if it's better with two, it could be even better with three. But when it, but when it comes to marriage, we are as human beings, we were created that way, to be selfish in a way. And it's a normal thing because think about it. Go back to your dating stage. When you were dating that person, your life evolved around that one person. Well, except Luby. Right?
You have to be exclusively dating. Like there's a word for it. If you're dating.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna wrap myself around you and you still hanging out with Tina, Tim, and them. Nah,
yes, correct.
We're exclusively dating.
Correct. Right. So it's really about the safety that it brings. It brings about the predictability. It brings about that comfort to know that I have my own and he is mine or she is mine and so forth. And and both of you put your heads together, you build a family together, you build a home together. It's I understand where you're coming from. And I think the arguments with those who don't believe in monogamy is, can you provide the same to the second and the third and the fourth wives? Because if the answer is no, then you should not be in that type of relationship. You understand? This is why it's important.
But that's not your question, though. Not
Well,
whether you should do
If they
it.
could,
yeah,
it should be.
well, it is natural. We were created
So if
to.
they're able to provide, then that should be okay.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
So if they're able to provide for four wives with different homes and different needs, it should be okay.
But if you live in the 86% where the culture is like that, you have to be careful where you live. You got to be careful who you choose for a husband, because there are some religion that believes you can marry more than one spouse. Christianity is not one of them today.
So I think
Christianity is not one that allow you to marry, but you can have concubines. Samuel had Sam. Listen.
Okay.
Well, was he a Christian or Jewish?
Oh, wait. But we're still going by the word.
You mean Solomon?
Correct.
Solomon.
All right.
So here's why.
Mark has a question.
No, not a question. Just continuing the conversation. I think why polygamy is so accepted now kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier when we talked about love and your spouse changing and being different and things of that sort. Those people usually like to have someone who understands them on this level in this situation, and they don't want to force the other person to change to be something that they're not. So then they try to make this little triangle or square or hexagon, however everyone you want to go, of different partners that understands them on a certain level. So it's like if I wake up this morning and I'm feeling A, then I'm going to chill with wife A because I know wife B doesn't like when I'm feeling A. And then wife B tends to understand like, oh, he's A today, so that's why he's chilling with her. Like I think it's a mental thing that allows people to want to live like that, in my opinion. If it works for you guys, it does. It's not, like Manu was saying, it's financially most of the time. In some countries, yes, but not all the time. There's a lot of people in US that live like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even one I saw
Utah.
on YouTube. Huh?
She said Utah.
Wyoming, I don't know. There's even one that I saw on YouTube that pretty much they talked about it. And I know, they're putting on their happy face. I'm pretty sure, just like in monogamy relationships, there's issues. I'm pretty sure that there's issues in polygamy relationships as well. What is it? Polygamy? But they don't really talk about it that much. It makes it seem like we all happy, holding hands, skipping. But there's issues and drama and situations if you want to go that way. For example, I'll just throw this out. Let's say you are in that relationship and you get one person pregnant, and then your second wife wants to have a baby now also, but now you're having issues getting her pregnant. That's a major problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not all happy, joy. It's problems. But to answer the question, monogamy, I believe, is normal and is the way to go.
All right. Well, guess what, guys? We have come to the end of today's show. We have more questions that we can debate upon. But for everything, there's a time and a season. So I want to respect your time and also respect the time of those who are watching us on YouTube and on Facebook. If you are a member of the Remedy, in other words, if you love this show, we invite you to please like and subscribe. Our YouTube channels are available. So if you missed the show today, you can always watch it on YouTube, or you can send it to a friend from YouTube as well. So we want to say thank you to all of you who made it possible. And a special thanks to Tinu for being part of the Remedy today. I hope this is not the first and the last time that you are here, and you can come anytime you want. Come and participate with us. Now, I just want to remind everyone, next week, today we talk about love. Next week, we're going to talk about sex. Luby, show me the dance.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Got it.
So the topic of next week is we're going to talk about sex. Is sex overrated? What's the big deal? Why is everybody talking about it? Why does everybody want sex?
Not with the girls.
Yeah, we will be
won't be on the show next.
We will be rooting you guys on from afar with no headphones in.
If you are interested in being part of this show, reach out to us here on the Remedy. Let us know. And if you enjoy the show, let us know. Our email is theremedywithpd@gmail.com. With this, I want to say thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your Valentine's Day with your significant other, and we will see you next time. Let's pray together. Father God, we just want to say thank you for giving us love, this beautiful gift that you gave to each and every one of us to enjoy and experience. There is still so much more that we need to learn so that we can better understand each other, so that we can love one another the way that we need to love each other. Bless us now as we move forward into the week. Bless each and every one of us, and bless those who are able to come and listen to this program today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. We love you guys, family. Love you. We will see you next time on The Remedy.